Ron Fellows.
We've been there, David, haven't we?
We certainly have. In that very spot, I seem to remember sitting watching a race go by at one stage. Ron Fellows,
he was
really
doing a
two in a row.
job.
I mean, boy, it's just going to be so disheartening for him. If it wasn't the engine, it was something else, and that is just really very heartbreaking. 5 laps to go.
Oh boy, that battle that he had with Dorsey, of course, pushed Dorsey so far to the front that now Dorsey is in that enviable position of having a really big lead on a track which he can easily hold that lead on.
It's about 14 seconds right now over Greg Pickett, who's inherited second spot, and Brian Simo. We've not seen much of the Valvoline machine today, but Simo has now moved up into third. Here's the Rebestis Mustang of Dorsey Schrader trying to win his 3rd consecutive, for him, Trans Am race at Lime Rock Park. Schrader in the Mustang, Pickett in the Camaro trying to make a last-minute charge. We'll be right back. To the uphill turn for the final time. Winner here in 1989 and 1995. Across the back straightaway to West Bend for the final time.
He won earlier this year at Phoenix. He will be the first double winner so far this year.
5 for 5 going into this event, and out of the downhill turn to the front straightaway, and the checkered flag, Dorsey Schrader. And the Rebestis Ford Mustang of Tom Gloy claims its 2nd victory of 1996.
So that is the first repeat winner in the series so far. Out of the 5 races before, we had 5 different winners. Now we've got a repeat. Dorsey Schrader winning in the heat of Phoenix just a few weeks back.
Dorsey Schrader's record at Lime Rock remains intact. He has run 3 Trans Am races here, and he has won them all.
And he wins for Ford and for Mustang. Here's the battle for 3rd.
This is Tommy Kendall, who's caught right up with Greg Pickett right there in front of him. Is he going to be able to get him before the start finish? It's going to be pretty tough going.
Got a good run at him down the downhill as Pickett tapped the brake, and it's Kendall.
Kendall takes 2nd spot after going right to the back of the field, changing to
3rd place behind Pickett. And Kendall will end up in 3rd. There is Schrader on the victory lap. A well-earned win for Dorsey Schrader, coming at the expense of Ron Fellows, who took the lead early from Schrader and had something come unglued. There's Schrader getting, or rather Fellows getting a ride from Scott Sharp.
That's
who
nice
also had
see,
a very
it?
disappointing day. Scott Sharp, coming off the Indy 500 yesterday, had to make a stop for a gear selector problem, 2 laps. Tommy Kendall was in and out, changed the tire, and managed to pull back to 3rd spot, and had an absolutely blinding race through the field. So poor old Scott Sharp's points not looking too good for the championship, nor Ron Fellows. But we do have a lot of races to go.
It's only about 40% of the way through this very long and obviously exciting season
events
coming up.
Dorsey Schrader is in victory lane, getting congratulated by the Tom Gloy crew. Let's go to Bart.
Oh, you can see they're pushing the car away. Dorsey hasn't stepped on the brakes yet. He's so excited here, he's forgotten the brakes. He's getting his helmet out. And if we get the car stopped here, we can get a word from him. There he is, looking nice and fresh. Hey, Dors, great job. It looked a lot easier than it was, I bet, huh?
Yeah, you know, we usually talk about pacing ourselves and running a slow pace early. There was no slow pace. You know, Ronnie pressured me real hard. Got by me. We ran 10/10 the whole day. Boris is right behind me. This car was perfect. We didn't lose a bit. I don't know what happened to those guys, but thank God, my guys. I want to dedicate this win to Joe Lozano. He's back home recuperating. We wish him well. He builds our motors and gives us the thunder, man. So get well, Joe.
Hey, Doris, any close calls out there? The car looked like it was perfect all day. No bobbles. Some other people had some trouble. What about yourself?
We were pretty good. I had a couple slips and slides. Nothing really major. You know, I got in the traffic with something else. When Ronnie and I were running, he was doing real aggressive moves to get by people, and I had to stick with him at all costs. And, you know, the Lord looked down on us today. We didn't have hardly a bump. He bumped me once, but, you know, we ran 1, 2, 3, 4 side by side. And Ron Fellows, I take my hat off to him, man. Not a lot of guys will give you enough room. He gave me enough room, so that's a shame for him. He's having a bad year. He's one good race car driver.
Well, you're also looking at another good race car driver. Dorsey Schrader wins here at Lime Rock, becoming the first guy to win twice in 1996. Back to you guys.
Suppose you're a student of Dorsey Schrader's. Do you think he might know what he's talking about when he tells you how to lap here at this track?
I have been, and he does.
He does.
You bet. Greg Pickett ties Mark Donahue's record of top 3 Trans Am finishes with his 43rd podium finish this afternoon. Bart?
Hey, Greg, congratulations. Nice second place finish. You might not know this, but you just tied Mark Donahue with the most top 3 career finishes in Trans Am history. Not a bad fact.
Yeah, no, I mean, we knew that. He was one of my real all-time favorites. I remember as a little guy sitting up on the hill at Sears Point watching Donahue do some of those records, and to be the all-time top 3 finisher in Trans Am means a lot to me. It's a heck of a job. I appreciate it, Bart.
How about today, the race today? It came to you. You saw some people ahead of you battle and fall out. You just held your position. All of a sudden, you found yourself in second. Any problems?
Yeah, that's all. I mean, I knew we had a good pace. I think I was running hard enough to keep some pressure on the front, and you know, I was sorry for Ronnie. He was running a good race, and Boris was trying real hard, so I decided to let him go early. And I'm happy. You know, they put it's a good old car, and you know, for a close to 50-year-old guy, I'm pretty happy. You know, what can I tell you?
Hey, well, some of the top drivers in some of the other series don't hit their peak till they're about 40, 45. So obviously you're in pretty good physical shape, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I try to be. You know, it's all that Champion Nutrition products. They're the best there is.
All right, you're looking at a pretty happy guy. Back to you guys.
So Dorsey Schrader and Greg Pickett will be joined by Tom Kendall, who came from an early race pit stop to reach the podium at Lime Rock today. Lots more coming up, so stay with us. Paul Gentilozzi was up in the battle for 4th place. Look at the blue Camaro of Jamie Gallus on the inside at Big Bend.
Coming down the inside, they obviously touched. Jamie Gallus puts the wheel over the edge. Coming around the outside is Tommy Kendall in the 11 car, just off the picture. Paul Gentilozzi spins right around, does a complete 360 in the dirt on the track, or off the track.
Yeah,
and
gets it right back on again.
And
Terrific job.
Really basically drops him back to 6th spot.
Let's go to the podium, and Bart with Tom Kendall.
Well, you're looking at Tommy Kendall getting congratulations from 2nd place finisher Greg Pickett. Hey, Greg, excuse me here. Tommy, he's taking.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Anyways, Tommy, you've made a habit of this. I know it's probably not the way you want to do it here, making an early pit stop and having to charge your way through the field. Tell me about it. What happened?
I guess you can say that's another one of my bad habits. I just didn't shake that one. You know, we had a little pinhole puncture in the tire. Guys were going off in front of me, and we were running through stuff, and there's not much you can do about that. I wasn't sure the way the car was moving around. I thought I might have broken a rear, something in the rear end, and fortunately it was just a tire. And from then on, just enough fuel had burned off, and the car was magic from that point on. You know, I saw Ron was only a few seconds from lapping me, and we took off from them, put about 10, 15 seconds on them, and ended up 3rd. I'm pretty happy.
Now, the last couple laps must have been exciting. You were with Jamie Gallus and Paul Gentilozzi. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was quite a bit quicker than them, but they were really quick through the downhill here, and that's about the only passing opportunity down the straightaway. And so I got by Jamie, but in the meantime, trying to get by Paul, Jamie got back by me, so it was a bit of a mess. But they took care of each other, and I was just able to kind of pick my way through the rubble.
Okay, the point standings, you got valuable points here. Fellows didn't finish again. How do you like your chances the last 6 or 7 races?
I wouldn't be any place but right where I'm at. We've got a dynamite car, the all-sport cars, the freight train right now. If we can just get through one of these races without making 2 or 3 stops, we'll be in good shape.
Right, he's happy considering his 3rd place finish. Back to you guys.
Sam, not often you see a car come from with the leaders in his mirror to come all the way back around to a 3rd place finish in this series.
No, you hate to see Ron Fellows. There's that car being pulled in. But I wonder, David, might this be a turning point in the championship? Dorsey picking up, becoming the first 2-time winner this year. I think he might be on a real roll.
I think he is, and of course, just for my math, which doesn't say much, Dorsey's probably leading with 156 points to Jamie Gallus now with 151. Tommy Kendall, in spite of that incredible run to the field, has only got 142 points. But as you can see, it was a very, very exciting afternoon, especially for Tommy, who had a great view of that spin of Paul Gentilozzi down at Big Bend.
And Fellows finished 18th today. It's not going to help his chances. Here's a young fellow who ended up with a good run today. Let's go back to Bart.
Jamie, pretty excited in the last couple laps there. Tell me about it.
It was really exciting. I started a little further back and moved my way up a little bit in the beginning, but in the middle I just kind of wanted to cruise and save my tires. I thought there'd be a yellow, and then Tommy came up behind me, and so then we started going harder, and he and Paul and I had a real good race, and we all went into turn 1 together one time, and I don't know who came out. I didn't come out of it. My right or left front was towed in about 90 degrees, it looked like. So that's just racing, and ICI Camaro ran good. We had a tough weekend, and we're happy to be 5th.
Now, what about the point standings? You were leading coming in. You might have lost to Dorsey, but you got to be kind of happy when you weren't right on all weekend. You still got away with some points.
Yeah, you know, that's really all we wanted from today. Was we had a lot of problems, you know, the whole weekend, and to come out, you know, I think we're still definitely maybe either tied or within striking distance. So, you know, we're ready to go, and you know, we can't wait for Detroit.
Should be a good race. Back to you guys.
So he comes up with a top 5 finish here as Lime Rock gets ready to switch over for the IMSA competitors, and Dorsey Schrader has taken the point lead by 5 over Jamie Gallus. Tom Kendall in 3rd, Paul Gentilozzi slipping to 4th, and Brian Simo with a top 5 finish today, 5th in the standings, leaving Lime Rock, the 6th of 14 events this year. The manufacturer's standings, well, with Ford and Victory Lane, they come to within 4 points of Chevrolet in a very hotly contested battle. In fact, as Sam talked about at the start of the show, when the Trans Am Championship began, there was no Drivers' Championship. It was strictly a championship of makes.
And, of course, hotly contested in those days. Look at that terrific crowd as a result of both IMSA and SCCA racing here, where we've had the best of the SCCA. We're soon going to have a great IMSA race, I think, on tap. The next Trans Am is in 2 weeks at Detroit. That's going to be a great shootout, I think. I mean, you've seen what it's like to watch these guys battle, and I think we're going to see another great one there.
Great street fight there in Detroit, for sure. And then, of course, TNN will pick up the circuit once again in July when it moves to Minneapolis. So you'll see a lot of Trans Am racing.
That should be a good street race too. The first time ever in Minneapolis to having had a street race, and it's for a children's charity. So that should be good night. They're expecting a good crowd. I gave a speech up there to the SCCA back in the winter, and they were all very excited about the upcoming SCCA race.
We'll look forward to that as we go back down Victory Lane.
You're looking at the team manager for the Rocket Sports team, Mark Strickland. Paul had a good battle with Jamie, and then what happened in the last lap there?
Well, I'm waiting for him to bring the replays up now. We're going to watch it and see what it looks like on the replay.
Now, I noticed that just before that, Bill Saunders had also gone off. Was that a tire problem?
I think Bill broke a suspension part in the front. We're not exactly sure yet, but that's what it appears at this point.
So it was nice and calm for about 64 laps, and then the last 2, all heck break loose.
We needed the race to end about 3 laps sooner than it did, I guess.
All right, thank you. Back to the booth.